So, like I said, Meg, you'll have to be on mute on the live of the game window.
Mhm. Right.
Okay, and then when do you want to open it up on the platform for the attendees? Now?
Uh, yes. Just a second. I'm already talking to Santosh.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have like a Skype chat window or anything open, Gary?
Skype chat?
In case I need to send you a message in private.
Yeah, just,
Okay.
let me Skype. Yeah.
I mean, you don't want it running if you think people are going to be calling you during the game, but
Exactly. No. Just let me open on my tablet.
I mean, just as long as it doesn't make any noise.
In half a minute, we should be good. I'll confirm here once yeah.
All right, and then I'm going to jump off here, and then I say we just give it a few minutes to let people log into the game, and then once you see a good number of people logged in, we can, Meg, you can give your welcome, kind of give the instructions of the game, and then Gary, you can make your first move.
Yeah. So who is giving instructions? Me or someone else?
So they have, they'll see the instructions when they come on, but then Meg will give an intro and kind of the instructions.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to say something, or just I will be chatting with Meg?
Yeah, you should welcome everybody. I'm sure. Good game. Virtual handshake.
Live. We are live. The link is active now.
Okay, I'm dropping off. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Looks like we're starting to see some players here.
Oh. Yeah.
We'll wait a few minutes before we formally welcome everyone and do our virtual handshake with former world champion. So,
but these days, handshakes are banned in tournaments.
even virtual handshakes.
The virtual handshakes, yes. Unless you have the virus in the system.
Yikes! No viruses. We have enough viruses. Yikes! Yeah. So, in a few. Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and. In a minute. All right, we have our first. When are we going to start? That didn't take very long. Hello, everyone. Yeah, they're just wrapping up the main session, I believe, and then give a chance for as many people as possible to come in, and then we'll start. Hopefully, you all read the instructions and won't have to ask. It's pretty simple, but like I say, I'll wait another minute before so I don't have to repeat too often.
Yeah, but that's the quality of the game should be guaranteed by the fact that the audience has a choice of 4 moves suggested by a machine.
Right.
And I can say that if they guess first line of machine every time, I will lose. But statistically, it's highly unlikely.
This is it is. It's kind of a combination of chess and roulette. It's like
roulette, yes.
Not Russian roulette, but
it's you call it Russian, American, whatever it is. So it's a digital roulette.
Yeah,
but machines are so much better than top players. So and I'm a bit nervous because it's one of the 4 moves suggested by machine is always a very good one. Actually,
Yeah.
sometimes two, but definitely the first one. But they will be given in the random order. So that's why I'm probably I'm safe if we are to believe statistics and big numbers.
Right. This is a test, everyone, for the wisdom of the crowds, because one of the, like Gary was just explaining, one of the moves that are offered there is the best move from a very strong computer program, one of the absolute top programs called Leela. And if you guys pick that best move every time, Gary's in for a very tough day. But if you don't, then again, the fact that he's going to keep picking the best moves that Kasparov can make.
My life easier, yes. So
So we'll see about the wisdom of the crowds here. We'll talk a little bit about the most famous wisdom of the crowds game in history, up to this point, maybe, but a little bit later during the game, if we have a few seconds to talk about. You can see the book over my shoulder, actually, Kasparov against the world, and so that's what we're doing again
20,
here.
21 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And so, yes. So I think we're up to, 82. I was figuring it's kind of fluctuating now, 83. So, that was back in what, 1990?
Waiting for 100 or just,
It's a nice round number, but I was kind of waiting for it to slow down a little. It seemed to be jumping up pretty steadily, and I was going to wait until that initial rush, because I think a lot of people are just leaving the main event, the plenary event, and just seeing that link for the first time. So I was going to give everyone at least a few minutes to get in.
But you also say that this game is quite unique because it reminds us of the game 1999. Again, the audience votes for one of the four moves.
Right.
In 1999, the recommendations came from four young professional players. Now that it comes from a machine, and again, one of these four is absolutely the best move.
Yeah, and that's an interesting element. That last time it was kind of more of a human element. But what happened is, and really the fascinating thing about that game is that I guess they could do it here in the chat because they're talking in the chat, but that was more of a correspondence game. They didn't have to turn in their moves for every 48 hours or 36 hours or something. So in that game...
Now just 30 seconds, Mick. 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. That turned into... That game lasted for months. So we're not going to see that today.
Help me.
Yeah,
but still, I think, Mick, you just shared a great idea. If they started exchanging notes, and if you have one strong player in the audience who can, select the right move from machine suggestion, and then send it to 50% of the audience, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah, hopefully they won't. That would be the real wisdom of the crowds. That would be more like the cheating of the crowds. I'm not sure about that. We may have to turn off the chat if they start collaborating, conspiring against you.
Yeah, we're getting close to 100.
All right, yeah, we're getting about there. So, if everyone, you'll see it immediately. It'll be easier to illustrate by example, but you'll see four moves pop up, four buttons that will pop up below the board, and you have 30 seconds to choose the move you would like to make. So you can wait until you'll see a timer, and you have to get your vote in before that timer runs out, or it won't count. So you can vote immediately, or you can wait 29 seconds, but for your vote to count, and then the machine tabulates the votes and makes the most popular move, and then Gary will have his time to choose his move, and he doesn't have anybody voting with him. So I think, we've cracked 100. I think we're probably ready to get underway. My name is Mick Gringard, by the way. I've worked with Gary for years, many years. Gary, if you'd like to welcome everyone and extend your...
Yes. Welcome, everyone. So as Mick said, virtual handshakes are not banned. So, and I hope you all enjoy the game. It's a very unusual format, but I am very much looking for the outcome of this experiment. So let's start. So I have to push one of my pawns, two squares. Let me see. Queen pawn, Mick. Queen or king? Let's do the king pawn.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
Okay, folks. So you are on the clock, everybody. You see that timer counting down. You've got four options. I'm sorry if we're hoping for the Scandinavian or.
No, machine doesn't offer this. No. That's the machine offers C5, C6, E5, E6. That's
Nothing too crazy. Do I get to
No.
vote too? I could really. I
No,
want a
you can-
Sicilian, so
you cannot. Yeah, I'm curious.
I don't want to sway the vote. Okay,
Yeah.
there it is.
E5.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
it was. By the way, it was close. It was close.
mhm.
It was
Okay,
close.
so they're classical. We call that a classical opening. E4, E5, both pawns controlling the center. And Gary's continuing a classical vein. No King's Gambit today, huh?
No. Not against computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, these 4 moves are being chosen. The Appian built this. They have found someone to use their low code app to build this that picks 4 moves from from a very, very strong computer and then displays them. But it displays them randomly. Those are not in order of best to worst according to the computer. So that's the important key. That's where the human element comes in. All right, we are staying classical here. Knight out here to C6. And we'll see. Of course, Garry Kasparov was an E4 player for most of his career, and then had a mid-career crisis, and decided to switch to D4. And you actually had better results with D4, much to the surprise of.
No, just to be precise, Mick, I started as an E4 player. Then I just, at one point I moved to D4, and that's when I was climbing to the top. So I played almost exclusively D4. And then after my matches with Karpov, I gradually switched back to E4. But at the end of my career, I played E4, D4, even C4, just with no special preference.
Yeah.
A6. Wow. Now we're talking, serious game. So someone's definitely exchanging notes.
Yeah. These guys are all talking. We've got like 3 or 4 players.
Yeah.
Putting in the chat, but I don't know. There might be a saboteur.
We don't know what is this thing.
Never know. So, all right. Go ahead and cast your vote, folks. Remember, you only have 30 seconds, so don't think too long. What are we going to see here? Are we staying in the books? All right.
You definitely have some players. But just okay.
Well, like I say, here early in the opening, the machine isn't going to blunder. So none of those 4 moves is going to be terrible, but they're going to, as things get more complex, as the complications arise, then we'll see, because then in some situations you may have only 1 move that staves off loss, or maybe 2 moves that are fine, and then the 3rd and 4th may be blunders, because in some sharp positions, we say sharp to mean tactical, difficult positions, there may only be 1 or 2 really acceptable moves. So we'll keep that in mind as the game goes on. But as we were saying, the top moves, at least one of those 4 moves is always the best move according to this very strong computer. So if you're lucky enough to pick the right one every time. So we'll see. Now they have a choice to take back. For example, here, anything other than recapturing that bishop would be a disaster. So we're not expecting that. Oh my!
You're right saying that's recapturing the bishop, but it was a wrong recapture.
Right, they had a choice. They did recapture the bishop at least. So
but I have to make the best move. If they took with the pawn, d pawn, I couldn't do that.
Right. So that may already be a little blow to the wisdom of the crowd here. I don't know. Yes, I don't think there's a question in the chat wondering if you have computer assistance, Gary. I don't.
No, I remember this. That's it's many years ago. I played in France the exhibition that was run by Minitel. They're very primitive system of the 90s. And they blundered the pawn early in the game, and I said that tells you everything about the collective ownership.
Uh-oh.
I'm
Already with the politics.
No, it's not politics. And okay, I also castle.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we've castled there. Getting the kings out of the way. That's always a good plan, especially when you're playing against Garry Kasparov. Get your king out of the middle of the board. Get it to safety over there, at least temporary safety. Yeah. And now things are starting to get a little more interesting with the knight dropped right in the middle of the board and a missing pawn.
Pawn is a pawn, Pawn is a big deal.
Pawn is a pawn. Pawns are the basic currency of chess when it comes to material.
Yep.
So, all right, on the counterattack. Just retreats that knight, taking the loot, grabbing that e-pawn and going back home with it. So now Black has to try to prove that it has some sort of compensation. Does have better development. Has that bishop out on c5, but
better development it's an illusion, because I have no weaknesses. Development itself is just not a big deal. And by I have a pawn now. We're at the age now when we should respect material.
Yes, you're a materialist. All right, trying to open things up here with the d5 pawn push.
But I have to keep things close, because if I exchange the pawns, then Black has full compensation. So that's why I have to try to keep the position closed.
Right. And the players here for the Appian community might be learning why the nickname of this opening, which is the Spanish game, or the Ruy Lopez, also has the nickname of the Spanish torture. So
it's politically incorrect to use this kind of.
I know it sounds. Yeah, it's true. That sounds terrible, but it's not an insult to Spaniards. It's a compliment. It's a very positional, strategic opening. Puts the slow squeeze on the Black position, and so that's what we're going to see. So we'll see if the community here can fight back. Getting pushed around a little right now. Okay, those white pawns are coming, pushing those black pieces back. Need to get that bishop out of the way. As you can see, all four possible moves are with that bishop retreating, so it doesn't get captured by that pawn that Garry just pushed. So now you just have to try to figure out which is the correct square. Every single move, there has been a vote for every move except for the one with the pawn recapture.
Actually, it was so close, that was quite unfortunate. They blundered the pawn because it was really close. Mm-hmm. It's a couple of percent divided. The correct recapture of my bishop was the wrong one.
Yeah. So we have one person who's trying to be the Irina Krush of the chat here, trying to lead everyone. Just have some fun, folks. Think for yourself. You'll have more fun that way, I think. If you just put in somebody else's moves the whole time, I'm not really sure.
Now we have to make sure the queen is under attack.
Uh-oh. Okay, very important, guys. Don't want this to be over too quickly here. The bishop is attacking the queen, so don't ignore that.
Yeah, you cannot make a blunder here.
Gotta block that attack.
Yeah.
There's really only one move. There we go. All right, team, we can do this. All right. Forcing his bishop to retreat. Could have captured it, but that would have allowed the knight to come back in the game. So he just keeps the pressure on. Again, the Spanish torture is starting to come into effect here. Now you've got to decide. Does have some threats. The white
just
position.
Make sure that okay. But machine was not going to blunder queen or anything.
No, there's always going to be one very good move. In fact, the best move, really. There's a very strong machine here. It's just up to the wisdom of the crowds here to find that move. Oh, all right. The counterattack. pushing back. And he retreats that bishop. He didn't really have any choice there. The bishop was cornered unless he wanted to try to sacrifice and go real crazy there, giving up a piece for a pawn, a knight or a bishop. So let's go ahead and see what we've got here. Now we have to come up with a plan. You can stay aggressive here, push another pawn. That's the machine's offering f6 to f5. Wow. Or even g4. Woo. This is getting aggressive over here, but that is what machines are good at. They don't look at it and think, "Oh, my position is really open." They just look.
That's definitely changes. Machines had, by the way, some great suggestions. Both f5 and f5 was a very strong move, and it could have changed the dynamics of the game. I could be sorry about my bishop maneuver, but again, I wanted to give chances, so it's the.
Yeah, that would have been a very double-edged position, which for all of his career is exactly what Garry Kasparov was famous for, looking for those sharp double-edged positions, but not against a computer. So in this case, that is fatal. One of the great ironies and one of the things that was computer chess developed is that computers are great at things that are most difficult for humans, and that is absolutely true in chess. You do not want to get into a firefight of deep precise calculations against a computer. You want to get into a slow, closed position where you can maneuver quietly if you can, but it's not easy to do. All right, back on the clock. A lot of possibilities here. That bishop is looking very strong out there.
Bishop protected by the pawn is always a very powerful piece.
Yeah.
Especially in the center. Yeah, where it just, looks at every direction.
And meanwhile, look at Black's dark squared bishop sitting there on b6, kind of cut off. So, okay, that's good. The community here, the Appian community, trying to fight back for that center.
Yeah, but naturally I will try to make sure that my bishop stays there.
Right, and so that Black bishop stays out of the game. Because now, if this continues, that Black bishop on b6 is really cut off, while that White bishop on e5 is dominating both sides of the board. That's a very powerful piece. Ooh, that was a close vote there too. Okay.
The votes. Yeah, actually, but that's again the good thing that is just the machine always suggests good moves, and the choice, I wish we had. Oh wow, so close! You see me again?
Oh boy,
41 to 46%. So
yeah. Interesting. So of course he recaptures with the pawn, not with the bishop. If he'd taken with the bishop, then Black would finally get rid of his own bishop, could exchange there,
and also Black could push the pawn c-pawn and attack my bishop. So
right.
I still keep my bishop in the center. I have extra pawn, and I just have a good square for my knight, c3 square.
Okay, so still, and if you're keeping count at home, materials, certainly the thing you can never lose count of is, another close one. Wow, only a 1 vote difference on that one, it looks like. So between that and c5, so developing that bishop, getting it out into the board. Now, Black has the bishop pair. Is that any compensation for that pawn deficit? Again, White has an extra pawn, but Black has those two bishops. But
if Black pawn from c7 could go to f7, then we could talk maybe about some compensation. But it's not just a pawn for White. It's also White a strong position in the center, and Black king is exposed.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like a combination of material factor, but also positional factor. So now I have a choice, so I can but there's no threat, so I can simply develop my queen and prepare for just to bring rook on e-file. Because this is if you exchange, so then exchange will.
Yeah. Now there, if you'd wanted to be really aggressive, you might have gone. I was looking at Queen F3, and I was trying to work out if that worked or not. But that's just the sort of move you don't make against a computer, probably. But it might.
You can, but as I say again, I'm trying to play very solid.
Yeah, always a good way to go. All right, protecting that pawn. It wasn't really under direct attack, so. I mean, it was under attack, but it was protected by the queen, so maybe not necessary. So now, how is white going to continue here? All right, getting his rook into the game there.
Yep.
Rooks belong on open files, we say.
Yep, they do.
And there's one there. So now, what are we going to do? Not real happy. Would like to do something with that bishop, but... Yeah, more close votes. That's interesting. All right,
Yeah,
wisdom. All right, capturing, trying to open things up, which again makes sense for that bishop pair, but of course it won't be there. Won't be a bishop pair for long.
All votes are fairly close.
Yeah,
all votes are very close. Yes, actually, I think that the second move was probably better. Was Rook A7, trying just to. It's still tough, because again, it's not just a matter of one extra pawn. It's white, white dominates on black squares, and black king is exposed, and the black pawn on d5 was weak. Yeah. So there's the
right,
now no more two bishops.
No more two bishops, and now that powerful white bishop has been replaced by an absolutely dominant white queen in the center of the board. And that you look at that queen, and she's kind of like an octopus out there. It's just the radiating power in all directions, attacking all sides and blocking that black pawn. Black does have a passed pawn, but I don't see how to hold on to it.
This is not a pawn's end game.
No, not an end game yet. Another one of those things that used to be the real weakness of computers. It's now the strength.
Check for me.
That's a bit of Hollywood. Check. That's funny.
Yes.
That's funny. Yes, you always see that in Hollywood. All the chess players get mad when they see that in Hollywood. Somebody will make a move and go, check. And of course, you don't say that, in professional chess. It'd be very rude. You're not supposed to speak to your opponent at all unless you're offering a draw or resigning. But we're having fun here, so that's okay. You can shout check. You can all go home and say, I put Garry Kasparov in check.
Yeah.
So, but only checkmate matters. Check is just another move. All right. Got to start finding ways to make some progress here. This is looking tough. You notice all these exchanges, black's getting rid of pieces, but you have to remember black is still down a pawn. And if the pieces come off, that pawn is a winner. Those of you who know, a pawn makes it all the way to the other side of the board. It becomes a queen. So that one pawn may not look like much to you, but as Garry said when he grabbed it in the beginning, you get more materialistic as you get older. Pawns are nice. All right, black is we have a threat though, folks. We have a threat. Maybe he'll take his eyes off and let us take that B2 pawn with our rook.
Well, I can take the pawn now. I'm just contemplating. So should I? It's the
yeah.
White has quite a choice of good moves.
That's true. That's true. I don't know, folks. He's looking a little too happy here.
Now I added my knight to the power of my queen.
Oh boy! So now we're under attack here. So
time for a kill.
Yeah. So now, unlike many of his opponents in the past, we're being faced with a brutal Kasparov attack, but now you also have to deal with the brutal Kasparov trash talk that his opponents didn't have to worry about in the World Championship matches. Uh-oh. All right, here comes the knight. That rook is out there, and the black king is very open. All right, trying to take advantage of this pin. That's an interesting one.
But I can take the.
I don't understand it. Nothing seems to be protecting that bishop.
Yeah, but this is probably all other moves we're losing. This is probably what the forced move machine suggested. But I look at the recommendations of computer, and all of them, basically ended with a major loss.
Yeah, I think the king move was probably the only move,
Yeah,
but then
still,
rook e7.
Still rook e7 check, and then I just I win the queen. So that's machine's agony.
Yeah, this is the problem when it's recommending when the computer sees that all the moves are bad, then it's just going to kind of throw up its hands a little bit.
It's still a pity that probably I didn't have to put this kind of trap at early part of the game, taking on c6, because it created a problem. Though they still missed a chance if they didn't take on e5.
Yeah, f5.
Ooh, I underestimated it, and that's black had very good position.
Mm-hmm. No takebacks, Appian community. I'm sorry, but if we wanted to if we could replay that back, then you could play f5. But
now it's a mate in 4.
Are we getting mated here? Oh, now Gary gets to say check. You got to say check, Gary.
I didn't have to. Machine does it.
Oh boy. Nope. Sorry guys. There's no resign button, but you have about 130. You only have about 90 seconds to suffer.
Yeah.
From what we can tell. If Gary says there's a mate in 4, I'm going to believe him.
Yeah, it's the mate in 4 if they move to the F file. If you go to H file, there will be mate in 3. Actually, there will be only 3 moves recommended now because only 3 legal moves.
Mm-hmm.
Only 3 legal moves, yes.
Well, we might have time to take a few questions.
Yeah. And now there's only 1 legal move, so that's why it's easy.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Closing in. Take your screen captures now, folks. It's all coming to an end. Wow. Somebody says, I can't watch. It's too painful. Matt. No, fear
right.
Yeah, play blindfold chess, folks. Oh boy, only 1 move there.
One move, 1 legal move.
King is on the run again. The black has a mate threat. If Gary slips with his mouse, we might be able to mate him. This happened. You have to tell the story before you play the last move. You have to tell the story. I don't know if the whole thing shuts down or something after the mate. So tell them what happened in your recent game against one of the world's best players.
Yes, against Caruana. So it's it's the latest tournament. So on Chess 960, the officials chess, the random chess, and was a tough game, but I outplayed him and had a winning position and had about 2 minutes left versus his 55 seconds. And he had a threat, and I just wanted to defend against the threat, and I moved my queen from e4 to c2. But somehow this queen, the mouse dropped it on d3, and I still tried to push it to c2. And in professional programs, there is a so-called pre-move function, which means that you can make a move not waiting for opponent's move, and the move will be reproduced by machines no matter what your opponent does. So what's happened is that not just my queen didn't appear on the square I wanted it to appear. It appeared there a move later when my piece was under attack. So and instead of winning the game, so I lost it because of this mouse sleep, and that was painful. And that's I'd rather swap the mouse sleep in this game to yeah, and now it's checkmate.
There it goes, folks.
30, but it's
Yeah, you survived for a while. Oh yeah, it does shut down here. Yeah, moves have been made. 30 moves.
So I wonder, if there are, I don't know if the audience can actually ask any questions on chess, and you can definitely put this.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I think the chat just shut down. I'm not sure if the whole broadcast shut down or not. I'm kind of assuming that's the whole thing.
That's a function. Maybe instead of making the last move, we had to ask questions to be submitted.
But even then, I'm not sure they're even hearing us at this point.
No, but while the game was
Yeah.
yeah, I think I made a mistake.
But
so
it was no, it's okay. It was so fast, you know. I think the 30 seconds. I think everybody's feeling like they're under pressure.
No, but I could have
on your time, yeah.
Exactly, I can use my time. So that's I just didn't know that it would shut down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's too bad. Well, thank you for playing. I get a message. Thank you for playing the game. It says your contribution to the popular move have been made by Gary. Now it's doubling. All right, so I think we're out. I don't know if anybody's going to come back on with us here.
I don't know. The game was played. It was not that bad.
No. So F5. That would have been fun.
F5, yeah, but actually I totally forgot about F5. I just thought about G4 only. G4 is still okay, but F5 is, probably black was better. After F5.
You think?
F4, I mean, the next H3, F4, knight of 8. That's the pawn is. White isn't. Okay, white still has a pawn, but.
Yeah. You can play H4, H3 even. Yeah.
No, yes, that's the
that would have been funny.
Not the.
It was offered though. I did see it. G4 and F5 were offered by the computer.
Exactly. Yeah. But those are two best moves.
Yeah, clearly.
So I would say machine probably offered, I don't know, just a knight of 8.
Because what did they play? They took on E5, right?
That was the worst. That was absolutely the worst.
Yeah. No, that's fun. Everybody seemed to be pretty happy. I took some screen captures here. I don't know if anybody's going to come back on with us now to say goodbye or not. That's it.
No idea.
So I have the game. I don't know if that's going to. Oh, I can publish the game, I suppose.
You don't have to. That's Appian's property. So I think the game is over, yes?
Yeah, everything's over. I mean, as far as I can tell, there's no way back into anything. There's no chat. There's nothing. I can't reload it. Yeah, it doesn't load anymore.
Yeah, so that was our mistake. So we just, we didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh well. All right, I'll email Katie.
Okay, you email Katie. So and that says, can you go on Skype now?
Yeah, sure. Let me just.
Okay. Email to them. Okay, email them and just I'll wait for you on Skype.
Okay.
Is on.